If you're thinking about moving here to Fort-Walton Beach and you don't know what the pros or the cons are of living here, well, you're in luck. Today we are going to be going over the top pros and cons of this area here in 2025, towards the end, so it's almost 2026, so still relevant content. We're actually here in the Presidio, which is one of the most prominent condos that you're going to find in Fort-Walton Beach that isn't out here on Okaloosa Island, which is where all the vacation renters are. This is more or less for people that want to live in here. We're going to show you, I got a really fantastic one that we're going to be touring and going over the pros and cons. So let's go into it. All right, so let's first move inside here because it's still summer and it's hot out, okay? But we'll talk about con number one as we're chilling in the living room here. So the first thing is that we have this highway. It's Highway 98 and the traffic backs up pretty badly, right? The new bridge construction that they have, which they say is a 5-year project, it's the government, so you tell me if that's valid or not. That construction actually holds a lot of this up and it really gets into those times. Not only that, but we have seasonal tourism here too. That's probably why you're thinking about moving here. But when it comes to the seasonal tourism, just getting downtown anywhere, like it can back up really bad. And it can be very frustrating when you are here from basically the spring until the fall, until everybody goes back home and it gets cooler here and we locals get the town back. But yes, it can get really backed up. And just to kind of show you around as we are in here, so we're gonna do a little bit of both. The living area here, this is actually around 2,000 square feet in here for this part. So really opened up and look at these windows back here. Woohoo, love it. Okay, so the next con that we'll go over is gonna be just the limited options that you're gonna have here. Now, there are plenty of things to go around, but we still have to travel out to Destin a lot of the times to get some good shopping done. If you want to go to some of the better restaurants, more of the attractions, most of this stuff's going to be in Destin, or you're going to have to go out to Pensacola to get those certain things. You want to watch a baseball game or ice hockey, that's Pensacola, right? If you want to go and do all the water things and the touristy stuff, that the family fun stuff that you want to go out to, you know, you're probably going to have to go to Destin. Good news is that you're still pretty close to everything. There is a nightlife here. It's not overly trendy, I guess would be the best word, but there are some pretty good spots here. It's more for the casual bar goer, and there's like a nightclub here too. Well, I don't know if I call it a nightclub, but they got the 3 clubs into one that they have over there. It's called The Block, and it's kind of fun. I definitely enjoyed it as a younger guy, and every once in a while now. There are some really good dining options here. You just kind of have to know where you're going, but still for the most part, you're gonna be driving to different areas to get to that favorite spot, okay? So in here too, I just wanna show you a little bit about the dining area. And just because there was a bit of a storm going in, that's called lawn furniture. It's not really lawn, it's more for the patio. But you can see here too, this in the Presidio, most everything in here is going to have like a lot of natural light. And this is of course in the main area here. But I can only imagine what it's like to sit here every morning and get to look out in the intercoastal waterway. And you still have a view of the Gulf of Mexico from here too. How crazy is that? 7 floors up. By the way, if you do have questions about this unit or the Presidio or really anything here, guys, give us a call or text. Be happy to talk to you about what it looks like to move or invest in this area. Okay, so let's move on to con number 3. And move into the kitchen, is going to be the tourist spillover, right? And yeah, when you live in a specific place, you know, you get used to the traffic. It's the same thing over and over again. But one of the big industries that we see here in Fort Walton is going to be the tourism. And it has a lot to do with that thing we call Okaloosa Island that we were just looking at, which I'm looking at, you're looking at me, but I could see that over there, which is a huge attraction for people coming to the Destin area, but still staying in Fort-Walton Beach. you're still gonna have the tourists that come into downtown. You're still gonna have people transitioning back and forth to those main go-to places. It's gonna be hectic, but not as hectic as Destin, of course. You're not gonna have to deal with it that much, but you are gonna get the crowds. You're gonna get the crowds on the beach here, especially during the holidays, 4th of July. I just stay home. I don't even wanna go out just because the traffic can be so bad. Unless I got a friend with a boat, then we're fine. But the other parts too is a lot of the retail chains. Now, don't get me wrong, like the restaurants and everything here are built to sustain high peak season ability of the tourists coming in. I mean, that's where they get a lot of their money. So when it isn't peak season, man, you got the place to yourself. It's awesome. It's awesome, right? But you're still gonna get that spillover from people going all the way to the Pensacola area to here, and it can get a bit crowded. And this is the kitchen. Love this. We've got the granite countertops. They have the dual sinks here. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the dual sinks. I don't know if you guys do dishes or pans and try to put them in here, and I always get the handle like scrubbing sideways. I like the farmhouse ones. If you guys do too, leave it in the comments below, because I'm trying to convince my wife that that's what we need. So within the farmhouse sink to actually like be able to put stuff in, I don't know, it's just kind of my thing. Also a lot of stainless steel appliances. You're gonna see a lot of this. This is like, I don't know, it's like a spaceship for a refrigerator, like all the technology and stuff that's on this stuff too. But these were the original cabinets that they put in with the Presidio. And I think the backsplash is custom, but this is a lot what we've seen for most of the units that you see in here. So little island, but really nice and open. I always love these because when I come into these rooms, I'm a social person, as you might imagine me doing these videos. So I like to engage with everybody, but still be able to host. And you know, this is that view that I always think about too, is like, how am I gonna be interacting with people and entertaining and like, you have the command of the room, so to speak. So pretty cool. Okay, and the last one that we're gonna have for the cons, and I kind of already mentioned this before, but it's the construction, all right? I don't know if you grew up in a town like I did in New York where it was just perpetual construction, just always there, right? But here, they got the bridge construction. They've got updates that they're doing for the park at the landing and splash pad for the kids, and all sorts of really cool stuff is coming around, but it's a lot of construction on top of already congested areas, right? So the construction has been a little bit rough. I know it's for the best, but it does hurt us a little bit here. But let's just take a look around here. I'll flip this around. And this is the master bath in the Presidio. Hey, there's me. As you can see, you've got a huge size here, dual vanity, lots of counter space, and same type of cabinets that they had. Do have a jet tub. People like to call it a jacuzzi. It's a jet tub because it's a brand. Separate area for your commode, and as each one does have, it's got a separate stand-up shower. And I apologize about the lighting, but the fan is really loud, so it's just too loud for us. But we still got to see that, right? All right, we're gonna slip over to the master, but as we do that, we're gonna go into the cons, or into the pros. I'm sorry, we just did cons. No, into the pros. So we're gonna go into all the good things coming here to Fort-Walton Beach. My favorite one here is going to be the affordable location in proximity to that, right? In proximity to the water and the places that we want to go, right? Fort-Walton Beach is going to be way better affordability if you're on the water, of course, and if you're just getting a regular single family home or a townhome or whatever, condos even are still going to be way more affordable over here than it is just across a couple of bridges, or maybe one if you're on Okaloosa Island, right? So in Destin, to find a single family home, your average price point is close to $800,000 for a single, just a regular like 3.2, right? You come here for that same sort of thing, and you're gonna be looking to pay somewhere around the high 300,000s to get something pretty nice in this area. You're talking 2,000 square feet, 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage. You're gonna find something really, really nice in here. It's so much more budget friendly, and there's a lot of great things about Fort-Walton, but those prices really make it seem pretty affordable. And for some reason, insurance is a little bit less here too than in Destin. I don't know why. And then you go to Mary Esther and it's a little bit higher. I don't know what these insurance people are doing, guys, but that's the one thing is affordability of cost. So spin this baby around and you can see what they have done with this master. By the way, this is huge furniture. It's really pretty, by the way, but this is huge furniture. Of course, they've got the sunken ceiling tray, if you will. And this is all tile. It looks like wood, but this is tile, wood-like tile throughout. And I think the camera's got a focus, but, oh, there we go. You know, that's the view when you get to wake up in the morning too. Who wouldn't want that? And who wouldn't want to have a large walk-in closet with French doors, right? Big, this is pretty nice right here. Now, of course, when we come out here, you're in a condo, you're thinking there's not a whole lot of space in these condos, which would be true most of the time. Some of these things are only maybe 300 square feet, but you get into something that's a 3-4 bedroom that is pretty much, which is 2,000 square feet, like you'd normally get for a home. And you can find that here, especially here at the Presidio, which is of course why we came here. Okay, so here's really, like if you wonder why I own a home in Fort-Walton Beach, besides the other things, the biggest thing I'm gonna tell you is the central location. That's the biggest thing to me. Why? Because I can get to Destin pretty quick. I can get to Pensacola, right? I can get up to I-10. I'm all within this different area. And when you look on a map for Fort-Walton Beach, you're gonna notice too that it's got alternate routes to get around. You go to Navarre or even Destin, there's not a lot of alternative routes that you can take to get from one place to the other. It's kind of crazy, right? So at least in Fort-Walton, like even today I was driving around and I think a power line or a car crash or something came around and I'm like, there's at least another way that I can go to get home that I'm not going 20 minutes out of the way to do. So like reroute and then go around, right? Now it should have been smart. I should have used Waze or Google Maps before I decided to drive. Like that's what smart people do. But I was just like, yeah, I should be fine. It's 10 minutes. It still took me 30 minutes to get around. But that's not a fault of Fort-Walton Beach necessarily. It's just because, you know, the traffic and the backups and everything else. But yes, alternative routes to get around and be in that central location is just awesome, right? And really to me too, I travel a lot for work as well. So having proximity to the airport that's only 15 minutes from, maybe 20 minutes from downtown Fort-Walton Beach, depending on the season, that's awesome. That's really great to be able to get in and out like that. So that's number 2, and we're in the foyer. So let's move in to check out some other cool stuff. So in here too, we'll see that they do have a big old laundry room. Full-size laundry in a place, 2,000 square foot for something like this. Again, I think about this, I was like, this is a condo, right? This is a condo. And you're like, Tim, how much is it? Well, I'll tell you towards the end. It's not as much as you think. To be able to get in here and do that, which I think is really, really cool. So another couple of things that we're gonna talk about. The next pro is that small town, but it's got big perks. It does have that small town feel. It does feel like everybody knows everybody sometimes, which is good and bad depending upon what sort of environment you want to be in. But I like Fort-Walton Beach because downtown is walkable. There's some good walkability when you get down there. There's enough stuff around that you don't have to drive everywhere. We have waterfront. We have waterfront condos like we have here. We have beachfront, we have golf front. We've got all these different ones all around Fort-Walton Beach and a variety of waterfronts, to be quite honest. You'll see farmers markets out here. We've got live concerts at the landing, by the way. If you check out our channel, when we talk about Fort-Walton Beach, I actually have a whole viewing of me going through there and taking a look at what the concerts and everything look like. And this is before the construction's complete. So they are building out an amphitheater right there on the waterfront. It's gonna be so cool. And other parts about this too is in Fort-Walton Beach, you can get your golf cart and drive around, right? So if you go into Eglin, providing you're in the right neighborhood, as long as you're on Eglin to the east of there, looking at a map, those neighborhoods like Ferry Park, Elliott Point, down by Brook Street, like all of that, you can grab a golf cart and drive all the way down to be able to get into downtown, and there's golf cart parking. You don't have to worry about this. It's pretty amazing to be able to do that. Additionally to if you are a business owner like I am, There's a great community for small business and medium, large size business, I guess, within this community. They're super supportive of newer businesses and things like that coming in here. I can tell you from experience, I really, really love that. For a small town to be that supportive is pretty amazing. So, all right, going into another bedroom. This is a master. Now, all these rooms are connected to a bathroom. All these bedrooms are, two of which have their own private one, which we're gonna look at. So we got the single vanity in here. Now that's the same countertops that we saw before. Well, meaning that it is granite countertops. Still tile floor. And of course we have our tile and our tub shower combo. And of course it's a bedroom with a big closet. Love it. Okay. And still pretty good light coming into here. This is not one of the ones that have the waterfront view, but of course we can't have them all that way, right? All right, next thing we'll talk about for our pros is the military-friendly culture. As a vet myself, I was a 14-year Air Force vet, and I flew on the C-130s, and I was a mechanic, right? But going into certain towns, you've been into military towns before, and some are really supportive and some aren't. This one is not just supportive of just the military community, it's just so diverse. It's just as supportive of its community in general. And I don't know if that makes a whole ton of sense, but the community out here is very eclectic, but very welcoming. Because where we are, we're right below Alabama, right? So we get that Southern hospitality mixed into this culture. A lot of people, because of all the military bases, people like myself, ended up staying here after being stationed here and just fell in love with the community, right? So you have this diverse amount of people from all over the place. Plus you have Florida people, which people just convert into Florida people, mixed with that, right? And you have the military, really respectful culture on top of it. It's awesome. It's the reason that myself and my family live here, because of that community, right? But when it comes to the rest of the community that supports the military infrastructure, I mean, Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Field, they all really support the economy here. So they're really embedded deep into the culture that's here. And the values that go with that are also part of that. And of course you're gonna find, because I was one of them, I used to wear the uniform, the guys going down, having a good time downtown, but still with some sort of restrictions. It's unlike a college town. I don't know how to describe that. But the good news here is if you are a military veteran, it's very friendly for VA loans. I know in certain places, when I used to do real estate in Dayton, Ohio, everybody was afraid of a VA loan. And there was a major Air Force base right there outside of town called Wright Pat. And in here, that is not the case whatsoever. There's tons of military discounts. There's a lot of people that will go out and incentivize veterans to work with them as well. Even for leases, they have military clauses that go in there. And there's also a lot of career support that's out here too for post the time that you get out. A really, really beautiful place for that. Okay, so let's take a little look around here inside this spare bedroom. This one does have a view of the water. See, it's really nice. I got that set up. This looks like a little makeup or desk, whatever. Over there is the connection to the bathroom, but it connects to the rest of the house. And another balcony that looks onto the street. Okay. And then, of course, we have to talk about the last pro is just going to be just the natural beauty and outdoor life. When you go out to this beach here, it looks like something that somebody painted, right? It's got that emerald colored water, the white sand, fine white sand that gets in everything, by the way. But that fine white sand that just seems to go forever. You have these dunes like that are made from the sand. Like it's all just so gorgeous out there if you just take the time to really look at it. But the fishing is amazing. You've got boating. You can rent boats out here for relatively cheap. Paddleboarding, kayaking, all in Choctaw Bay or Choctawhatchee Bay. You know, I've been here for 10 years. I don't know if I'm saying it right still, but there's plenty of places to go out. World-class boating just in this area in itself. Destin was actually in Boating Magazine, is voted one of the best in the world. I think that's pretty crazy, right? Now, we're right next to it, so I'm gonna say that Fort-Walton Beach is as well. It's just beautiful golf beaches out here. Okaloosa Island is one of my favorite places to go. Again, depending upon where you are, it might be 5 to 10 minutes just to drive to get down there. Free parking most of the time. Like you're gonna be good to go. And all this stuff is just free for living here in Fort Walton. And of course, you get year-round great weather in comparison to I don't know, someplace that actually gets cold. We think it gets cold as Floridians, and we think 45 is cold, right? But most of the time, you're gonna see it in a very pleasant or pretty warm throughout the year. So really, really great place to go out and check out and just live to experience this part. So we'll check out one of the main bathrooms that we were talking about before. Again, that's that same granite countertop tile. This actually is very spacious too. And then in here will be no surprise, as you have a tub and shower combo. All right, guys, and now that we've kind of looked through the home, just a couple of other notes about what we were talking through. Again, if you guys have questions about this unit specifically, or any of the condo units, homes in this area, looking to move here and purchase a single family home or a condo, give us a call or text. Be happy to kind of walk you through what it really takes to be a homeowner out here. But yes, what we did see here, we saw this condo unit was just over 2,000 square feet. It was a 3-bedroom and it had 3 baths, right? So every single one of them had connections to a bathroom. And you'll also see here that this is one of the end units. This is 700. And this is the view that you get from it with the full extended balcony out. So the center ones may be a little bit different than this. And we also have balconies on the other side as well. And guys, we have helped dozens and dozens of people relocate here to Fort-Walton Beach, Destin, all the different areas around here on the Emerald Coast. And the clients that we worked with now live in homes that they just love waking up in, and that truly does fit their needs. Now, if you do move here and you don't get the help from one of us coming in here, you could end up in a place that you eventually resent, and we don't want you to do that, nor do we want you to overpay for something in a market that may not support it. So let us make your entire process simple, stress-free, and as fun as we could possibly make it as well. So give us a call or a text and we'd be happy to show you many different units like this, single family homes, waterfront homes, whatever your next place is that you're gonna be moving. So guys, don't go away quite yet. I already told you, I forgot to mention what this whole thing was for 2,000 square feet in the Presidio. And this was listed for $875,000. That's right, it's under $1 million for something like this. Thank you, Fort-Walton Beach. But again, guys, don't go anywhere yet. We have a ton of more videos just like this with home tours, pros and cons videos, all coming throughout here, not just about Fort-Walton Beach, but everywhere here on the Emerald Coast. So go ahead and take a look at some here or over here. We'll help you out. See ya. That's a good one. I like this one.